Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rudy Page and welcome to REGCO 2021 on FRESHFM Radio London. Our special profiling guest this month is Eddie Capone. Eddie, how are you?
I am good, thank you. Greetings, Rudy. It's great speaking with you this afternoon.
Great to see you, Eddie, once again. And Eddie, over the next few minutes, we're gonna chat about your life and your career and your ambitions. So first of all, tell us briefly about your birthplace and background.
Okay, I was born in Jamaica, in Kingston, Raytown, and I grew up in the country. First 7 years. I grew up in St. Mary Enfield Junior Pen, and then came to the UK in 1961 and finished my schooling in Birmingham. Then we moved to London.
Okay, so you're really a Brummie then, really. Nothing wrong with that, just so that I know, or we know. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
The old country.
Yes, exactly. So Eddie, which artists and performers have had the biggest impact on your career?
I would say Professor Herbie Hancock. And I met him in 1974. And he introduced me to Buddhism, and it's one of the greatest gifts I could have received. And I really am grateful to music, because it was because of music I was introduced to Buddhism, and it has shaped my life and my career.
Okay. So how have you used your love for singing to support community affairs?
Well, I've been doing that for a very long time now, in all the community projects that I've been involved with. I think one of the first major community involvement I did was in 1981, when I organized the first concert for the New Cross Fire. And we had, a great number of people who participated, people like Sugar Minot, Errol Brown from Hot Chocolate, Jimmy Lindsay, myself, Joanne White. There was an array of people that supported that event. And I've been doing that ever since. And it just so happens that, this new project that I'm doing in terms of community thing is to create a arts and culture center in memory of the victims of the New Cross Fire. And that's something I'm very, very passionate about doing, because I think for me, we need to create some value from that terrible disaster.
Yeah.
And that value must be of value for young people of today, so that they will never be forgotten.
Yeah.
And we're not just doing a prayer for them every year or marching, but actually turn this into a real value.
Yeah.
So it's like turning poison into medicine.
And it's about legacy as well.
It is very much about legacy.
And I'm pleased to hear you talk about the centre being aimed at young people as well, because with all that, as we're going through the pandemic, in our work, we talk about young people need somewhere to go. Young people need something to do. Young people need someone to show them how. So,
and that's what, I'm working with a group of young people at the moment that I'm very, very proud of. And it's, they've been the driving force behind this, actually, because, when they expressed to me, sort of like, Eddie, we weren't even born when this thing happened, and the more they learn about it, is the more they feel a deep passion to have a legacy
yes,
for them.
yeah, and to get involved, which is great, which is great. So where do you expect the centre to be? What location?
We definitely need to be in New Cross somewhere, but we're still looking at various sites and trying to get some form of confirmation. And as we go along, you know, we hope that we can draw the local authority on board and various institutions like Goldsmith University, which is right smack in the middle of this community.
Yeah,
so it would be really good to have them involved in it, in terms of, you know, sharing some of their institutions resources with the community, or be much more of a part of the community.
Yeah, and of course Goldsmiths have done a lot as it relates to reggae and then Caribbean history as well. So it's deep rooted there in the community. So hopefully, you know, that it would see itself as being an integral part of something like this. So that sounds great. So Eddie, tell us about your latest production and what the message is that you're giving to, as it relates to this music, because there's a message in your music, I should say. So can you tell us a bit more about the production?
Okay, well, this production really came about from my emerging from COVID.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because that whole experience of really turned my life around, really. I want to say turn my life around. It really gives me a different perspective on my own life, or life in general.
Yeah.
And
so remind us of the name of the song.
It is called The 8 Winds.
The 8 Winds. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on. You were saying.
Yeah, and it's something that I realize how easily we can be blown away by various circumstances and situations, in fact. And, you know, we are really looking at, you know, when we are praised, you know, or honored, you know, we become careless or reckless, you know, or if we have a new job, you know, it's always looking at external things to find our happiness. And we depend on these external things so much that whenever anything goes wrong, you know, it really put us into a deep situation or position where we feel helpless, because our whole life is dependent on all these things, whether it's our job, our career, our family, you know, if it's music, you know, a lot of people, you know, just think that, you know, music is a get-rich-quick scheme. And quite often, a lot of people pay more attention to being a star as opposed to paying attention to making good music.
Yeah.
And for me, music is about giving.
Okay. So, and you referred to it earlier. So how important was your faith as you were going through this very challenging journey over the last few months in your life?
Well, for me, it was very, very important because, you know, lying in that hospital bed, you know, I couldn't help but thinking, you know, is this a one-way ticket?
Yeah.
You know, because you heard so much during that time of people going into hospital and not coming out, and all the nightmare scenarios that was going along. And for me, you know, I was chanting my heart out, you know. But also, one of the things that I really felt so grateful about is there were so many well wishes from all around the world.
Yes.
And I mean, almost from the 5 continents,
So
from Japan to Brazil, to America, to the Caribbean, to Africa, Europe, the UK.
People do care.
Yes. And I
Absolutely.
was like, my goodness. I was almost in tears, actually, because I felt a lot of love. Yeah. I felt a lot of love. And it really made me more appreciative of people in general, my family, friends. And those things are very important for everyone, I believe, good friendship, or, just being around people that care about you and your well-being. So, and not to take these things for granted, Absolutely.
So as you lay there, as you knew that you were going to make it, what was the one thing that you promised yourself and the world? What did you say? I promise.
Well, I promised myself that this project of the Art and Culture Center is going to be if it's the last thing I do on planet Earth, that is going to be one of them.
You're going to make sure.
But I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
And when I came out, I thought, how am I going to do this? And I got inspired by Captain Tom. And I thought, okay, he's an ex-veteran. I'm an ex-veteran. Look what he's been able to do at his age. So I looked at it from the point of 2 different generations with a passion. Yeah. So he really inspired me to do this walk. So I came out of hospital, and 2 weeks after took the oxygen tank off my back, I did a 300-mile walk.
300 miles?
300 miles.
Okay, congratulations.
I did that in April, started on the 1st of April, and I finished on the 30th of April. Okay. And that was a challenge in itself, but it also taught me a lot in terms of what one is capable of if you put your mind to it. And most of the things that we think we can't do, we can do. Yeah. But we spend more time believing in the things that we can't do than believing in the things that we can do.
And of course, the old saying, whatever the mind conceives can be achieved.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. So when is the single out? Is there an album to follow it?
Well, we'll continue to work on the album, but this is the single that really laid the foundation, if you like, of the shape of the album. Yeah, I believe. And there's some great people around me at the moment, and they're really all good people, really amazing young people, in fact, Yeah, I'd like to give them a shout,
Yeah.
Chuck's IV.
There's a few names.
Yeah. Chuck's IV, Colum Lawrence, Cilla McCullen, Marcus, Dylan Gallagher, Alex Myers, Sabrina, Sam Cox, and they all had a contribution to this single. And we've got some great ideas for the album. But since we finished mixing it last night, nobody else has heard it apart from you. So,
Excellent. And it's true. I like the idea of it being first and exclusive. Really important to me. So I'm pleased about that. And just finally, Eddie, before you go, anybody wanting to know more about what you're doing, your music, and you know, maybe supporting the cause, where would they get hold of you? Website, telephone number?
well, it's all on the 3G treatment website.
So is that 3G treatment?
Yeah, so it's www.3gtreatment.com.
Thank you very much. So that's www.3gtreatment.com, and we can find out much more about Eddie Capone's background and about the project, and it's very worthwhile. And of course, we look forward to featuring your song all throughout August and beyond on Fresh FM Radio London. You're already a favorite with the presenters. Very well done. Thank you, and catch up with you again soon, Eddie.
And thank you very much for the opportunity today, Rudy. Thank you. It's been great. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
All right. You too. Have a nice day and a nice weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.